All right. Welcome, family, to another morning of Read Rich and Righteous. We're reading Rich and Righteous Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, in Your Mind. We've been on this journey for over 2 months now, and it's been an absolute blessing as we take this time to make sure that we attune our mind to abundance and don't get caught up in the collective consciousness, which is pushing scarcity, lack, poverty. I wrote this book at the beginning of COVID. I knew the world was going to slip into a mindset of scarcity at that moment in time. And so I got this divine download. It was twice as thick as this, had to cut it in half. But literally showing up on my computer at 3 a.m. In the morning for 6 months to get this book out to you. I quit my job January 9th, 2009 at the bottom of the last recession. And this is the exact money mindset that allowed me to stay attuned to abundance. And you've seen and witnessed my journey in terms of not only the manifestations of my own life, but the manifestations that I've been able to create and facilitate in the lives of those who work with me. And so I got a nudge about 2 months ago from Spirit to just read the book out loud. And so here we are on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube, just going through that process. And we built an amazing community. We've have on average over 600 people here joining us to begin their day by pouring into their own cup first before they go out and start pouring into other people's cups. And so I'm so grateful for each one of you who are here. Last week, I acknowledged some familiar faces that I continue to see in the comments. I'm not always focused on the comments because I'm reading, but I just know that I recognize you, I see you. And what we said last week was that consistency is the byproduct of belief. So when you truly believe in something, you are consistent with it. And so I just want to celebrate the consistency that many of you are now having in your own life by partaking in this ritual that we call Rich and Righteous. And by ritual, I spell ritual RICHUALS, because these are the rituals that keep us rich. All right. Not only make us rich, but also keep us rich. Today, we are in money commandment number 7, which is how the rich and righteous use money. And today we are on page 240. We are on page 240 today. So if you have the book, please open up to 240 and follow along as I read. I laid out the schedule for this upcoming week on Instagram. I'm excited about the sections that we are going to be reading. If you would like to get a copy of the book, you can go to moneyandmanifestation.com. You can go to moneyandmanifestation.com. There you can get 5 copies of the book for the price of 1. If you go to Amazon right now, you'll pay $100 for just 1 book. Okay. But if you go to moneyandmanifestation.com, you get 5 copies for the price of 1. 1 is for you, 4 for you to give to other people, to put you in an immediate state of giving. People keep asking me, Jullien, can I just get 1 book? You can, but it's still going to be $100. So the reason I'm giving you 5 books is to stimulate your personal economy. And the way you stimulate your personal economy is that you give more. Okay. The scripture says, as you give, so you shall receive. So the reason many of you aren't receiving what you desire from a money standpoint is because you're not giving enough, right? Or you haven't mastered the skill set of receiving. That is a muscle that has to be developed, just like our default state of the righteous, which is being natural givers. Many of us are natural givers, and we have to develop the muscle of receiving as well. And so you get 5 copies, 1 for you, 4 for you to give away. You also get the rituals workbook, which are the exercises that anchor in these principles into your life. And you also get the audio book in case many of you like to listen on the move. Of course, you also have this space, which is absolutely free. You can just join us at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Read Rich and Righteous to get these divine downloads. And so we also have our Facebook group. And what I'll do is I'll put the link to the Facebook group here in chat. This is where we can continue the conversation throughout the week. It's been absolutely beautiful because people are exchanging books. Many people are getting the 5-book set, and they are using the Facebook group to facilitate the giving of those books because for whatever reason, at this moment in time, they don't have enough people around them who want to step into this level of consciousness, who want to elevate from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness. And here you are in this community. And if you are experiencing lack at any level and you're like, Jullien, I can't pay for $100 book, I'm barely making it to the end of the month, then you can go into the Facebook group and you can look for people who are giving books, right? Again, we don't ask from a place of neediness. That is beggar mentality. We talked about how to pray in the last chapter. Instead, we ask from a place of genuine need, meaning that I honestly don't have $100 right now. But I need a book. I will once I get the book, I will read the book, and once I step into the abundance that is my birthright, I will pay it forward and do this exact same thing for someone else. So we've had people sharing stories of them receiving books from absolute strangers who are in this community. People who are saying, "Look, I'll pay for shipping. I can't pay $100 for a book, but I'll pay somebody $10 for shipping if you would be willing to give me a copy of the book." And it's just a beautiful thing. And this is the same practice that we actually want to have with money, feeling free to release money, knowing that it's going to come back to us in various ways and various forms. All right. In fact, this week we are going to be talking about the 6 forms of capital. It's not just money that we're chasing. In fact, we happily exchange money for the other forms of capital that are more valuable than money itself. All right. So with that, we are on page 240. We are on page 240, right? And yes, the workbook ships separately. So you get the 5 books in one shipment. The workbook comes from another printer. So you'll get the workbook separately. And if you have not received your audiobook yet, please email support@thefreedomschool.com. Again, that's support@thefreedomschool.com. If we have any issues with Instagram today, we are also on YouTube. If we have any issues with YouTube today, we are also on Instagram. And yes, please hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. That's our way of cracking the code in terms of these algorithms. There are 272 people on YouTube right now. We have 99 likes. So please hit that like button. That's all I ask in exchange so that we can get this message out to as many people as possible for absolutely free. All right. So with that, we are on page 240, and I'm going to begin today's reading. In God I trust, and in me God trusted. Children, how hard is it for them that trust in riches to enter into the kingdom of God? Mark 10:24. Inscribed on the US dollar is "In God we trust." That is why so many people have made money their God. I don't believe in the almighty dollar. I believe in an almighty God. They put "In God we trust" on money to fool you. Matthew 6:32 says, "For the Gentiles seek after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them all." A lot of money is not the goal. A lot of money is not the goal. Alignment with God is the goal. A lot of money is not the goal. Alignment with God is the goal. When I use money, just before I release it, I affirm, "In God I trust." Okay? When I use money, just before I release it, and we talked about releasing money, right? Just like you lease a car, right? The car is not in your possession when you're leasing it out to somebody, right? But it's still yours. You still own it. So we had you type in the word last week, re-lease. So you are leasing the money that you are now a steward of, right? And somebody else is using it temporarily to do what they need with it, and it's going to come back to you multiplied, right? So when I use money, just before I release it, I affirm, "In God I trust." Then when I receive it back, when it circulates back to me, I say, "In me God trust." So I say, "In God I trust" when I'm releasing this money into an investment, okay? And then when it comes back to me, I say, "Oh, in me God trust." Because the only way it would come back to me is if God trusts me with it. If God did not trust me with it, then I will release it and it will go into somebody else who is a better steward of money than me. So anybody who has more money than you, they've likely been a better steward of it than you. This is why it continues to come back to them. And by having money, I mean having it from a longevity standpoint. There are some people who get money, who hit a lick real quick, but then 1 year later, they're back to square one, right? And so when I use money, just before I release it, I affirm, "In God I trust." Okay. And when I receive it back, I say, "In me God trusts." So it circulates back to me. A trustee, a trustee is a person or member of a board given control or powers of administration of property in trust with the legal obligation to administer it solely for the purposes specified. So you are a trustee, family. You are a trustee. You are a steward of the money that is in your bank account. I don't perceive any money I have as my money. This $100 bill, this is not my money, family. My name is not on it. There's nowhere on this $100 bill that my name is on. So I don't own this money. I do not perceive any money as mine, even if it's in my possession. It is all God's money to me. Every unit of stored energy that I have been blessed with to be a steward of, I don't perceive it as mine. All of this is for God's will. It is energy that is stored up that I am here to use for God's will. And God is working through me, giving me visions and divine downloads from which to channel this money to, right? Whether I need to put it into a software, whether I need to put it into a human being and create a job, whether I need to put it into an idea, whether I need to put it into a coach, a consultant, education, etc., right? An investment, a property. God is giving me divine direction for what it wants me to do with its energy. It created all energy. It is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. And energy is never created or destroyed. And so I am just listening very carefully for where God or how God wants me to use this energy that I've been blessed with. Okay. And it's called currency because what? It's supposed to have a current. It is supposed to be in motion. It is not supposed to sit dead in a bank account. We do not want these to be dead presidents. Our goal is to resurrect these dead presidents. I don't perceive any money I have as my money. It is all God's money. I'm just a trustee. To be chosen as a trustee of wealth by God, you have to be a good steward of that which you already have been entrusted with. So to be chosen as a trustee of wealth by God, you have to be a good steward of that which you have already been entrusted with. In order to get more money, you have to do good with the money that you already have. But some of you have not been great stewards of that which you already have. Therefore, this is the reason why you aren't getting more. God chooses, right? God creates and gives wealth. And so as God, this energy is deciding where this money should flow, it's going to flow to the individual and to the organizations that don't waste it, right? That don't waste it. It's going to flow up, right? They say money trickles down from the rich to the poor. No, money trickles up according to your level of wealth consciousness. So the higher you are in terms of your wealth consciousness, between poverty consciousness and wealth consciousness, the more money will be naturally in your experience. As a child of God, I am one heir among my 7 billion brothers and sisters. God's estate is infinite. As John 14:2 says, my Father's house has many rooms. There is more than enough for us to all inherit what was intended for each of us according to our stewardship. God will not give you more than you've proven you can handle. God will not give you more than you've proven you can handle. Why would God give you $1 million when you're mishandling $100,000? Why would God give you $100,000 when you're mishandling $60,000? Why would God give you $60,000 when you're mishandling $30,000? Okay, so you be giving according to your stewardship. Bottom of 240. The circulation of money to me, and through me is simply a material financial fact of my immaterial spiritual faith in God. The circulation of money to me and through me is simply a financial fact of my immaterial spiritual faith in God. In God I trust, and in me, God trusts to do the greatest good possible with what I've been given. In God I trust initiates my giving, and in me God trust reciprocates my receiving, and the never-ending cycle continues and expands as I become a better giver and receiver. Money is a byproduct of blessing others, so I don't focus on getting money for myself. Instead, I focus on blessing others. My blessing model produces my spiritual or internal return on investment, and true value is not based on the money you get, but on the benefit you give. I'll repeat that. Money is a byproduct of blessing others, not of getting over on others, not of scamming others, but of blessing others. So I do not focus on getting money for myself. Instead, I change my focus to blessing others. What am I doing here every single morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? What am I doing? I am seeking to be a blessing to all of you. Okay? My blessing model produces my spiritual or internal return on investment. Whether any of you bought a book or not, I would already get a return on my time and on the energy that I was given, just based on the comments that you leave, the prayers that you send me at the end of these teachings. That in and of itself is already my spiritual return on investment. The money comes after. It is secondary to the actual return I get from actually being a blessing to all of you. So my business model produces my spiritual or internal return on investment. And true value is not based on the money you get, but on the benefit that you give to others. As Warren Buffett said, for the consumer, price is what you pay, value is what you get. For the creator, price is what you receive, value is what you give. So I seek to give value, to be of value to any relationship that I have in my life. And if you called everyone in my phone, okay, you would hear from them that I have been a blessing and of value to their lives. And therefore, abundance comes to me naturally as a result of that somewhat of an imbalance between what I've given to the world and what I've actually received. Okay. I create a vacuum. I give so much that I create a vacuum that the universe says, oh, I have to reciprocate. I have to fill that vacuum. Now, you cannot outgive God. You cannot outgive God. But when there is a gap between how much you're giving and how much you've received, that gap is often met and filled with finances. We're on page 241, second paragraph. Let me explain how value is created in a business context. I created a red t-shirt for $10 because I make them 100 at a time. I then market those t-shirts online or via my physical store, which costs me another $5 per shirt when averaged out. Okay. You see my online ad, or you walk by my store window and notice the shirt. You think to yourself, this will go perfect with my new red shoes. So you click the link or come inside to inquire about the price. You would be willing to pay $30 for the shirt and are happy to see that the shirt only costs $20. So you buy it. In this economic exchange, you feel you got a deal because you were willing to pay $30, but you only had to pay $20. I earned a $5 profit because you paid $20 and it cost me $10 to make it and $5 to market it. The $5 is the financial blessing I get for blessing you. And the $10 in additional money you would have been willing to pay is a financial blessing back to you. But there's also intangible blessings that both parties get. You, the consumer, feel excited and confident in your new outfit. I, the creator, feel valuable and excited because I created something valuable to someone else, and my brand is reaching more people through you wearing the shirt. The intangible blessings are often worth more than the monetary ones. People don't want money, nor do they want the things money can buy. Everyone wants the feeling behind the thing. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. People do not want money, nor do they want the things that money can buy. Everyone wants the feeling behind the thing. People are happily looking for ways to spend their money every single day. I already called you out on this. How many things do you have in your Amazon cart sitting right now? How many tabs do you have open with stores that you're shopping at right now? We're supposed to be in a quote unquote economic recession, but you are still shopping. Why? Because you know that this inherently has no value. This alone does no good for you. You can't drink it. You can't eat it. You can't put it on as a blanket, right? You can't put it over your head to house you. You have to go use it in a certain way to get the value out of it. So people actually don't want money. I know that sounds crazy, but we don't want money, nor do we want just the things that money can buy. Everyone wants the feeling behind the thing. It does not make sense to buy a $300,000 car. Why do people do it? Because they want the feeling of opulence. They want the feeling of luxury. They want the feeling of rich. In some cases, more so than they want to actually be rich. We are all seeking feelings. And feelings are those vibrations in us. We want to be operating at a certain frequency. And sometimes we try to buy our way into that frequency. We try to bypass, B-U-Y-pass. Everybody type buy-pass, B-U-Y-pass. Everybody type that. Buy, B-U-Y-pass. Type bypass. No, not the traditional bypass. I'm breaking down this word for you. Bypass. We try to bypass our way to certain frequencies. Some people try to buy love. Some people try to buy the feeling of rich. Some people try to buy the feeling of happy. Some people try to buy the feeling of beauty. When in fact, you don't have to use any of this to get to those things. You can conjure up those feelings in your mind right here and right now. You don't have to buy your way into that feeling. You can create and tap into any frequency that exists right here and right now. In the same way, when you're in your car, you can you don't like the station that you're listening to on the radio, you can literally just change the frequency. You have that power. Now, there's some frequencies that you may have never experienced that you want to experience, so you may not be clear on what that channel is, what that frequency is, or even how to get there. Okay? So some of us temporarily bypass our way into that frequency so that we can feel it. But once that initial moment is gone, right? Because your frequency is what you feel frequently. It's what you do and feel frequently. And so some of us try to bypass our way into love or bypass our way into wealth, but it's only temporary. It's not frequent. And therefore, it's not our frequency. And so then we try to figure out how to clamber our way back there. And some people, not knowing that that frequency can be tapped into through their own personal antenna, they continue to try to buy their way and buy designer brand clothes. Buy Gucci, buy Fendi. You finna be broke. You buying Fendi, you finna be broke. You bought a $3,000 Louis purse and don't even have any money to put in the purse. What's the purpose of a purse? It's to hold your goods and your valuables and your money. But you spent $3,000 on the purse and now have no money to put in the purse because you tried to buy your way into wealth. You tried to buy your way into the feeling of rich. Okay? I don't wear designer brand clothes. I'm not knocking anybody who does. I celebrate abundance in all forms. But if you do have designer brand clothes, make sure it's coming from your passive income. Do not be trading time for money, right? To buy designer clothes to make you feel rich when you're actually, from a financial standpoint, poor because you bought that thing. Some of you are living off of debt. Stop looking at people's Instagram profiles and gawking. Many people's Instagram profiles are financed by debt. After they take that picture, the sadness comes over their face because they know they're living a lie. And now they have to uphold that lie with the next outfit and the next vacation and the next car and the next house. Because they're trying to do what? Bypass their way to a certain feeling. They're trying to bypass their way to a certain feeling. Okay? So here I want to introduce you to one of the most powerful concepts that I've ever been given by God, and that is your blessing model and your business model. That's your blessing model and your business model. Okay? Some people are really living that life, and I'm happy for those who are truly living that life, who have so much abundance that they can freely buy whatever outfit that they want without having to worry about money. That's where we're all seeking to get to. But I'm telling you, not everybody is operating at that level. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through your blessing and business model. These are the two things that you have to lock in, right? In order to step into your abundance. Your blessing model is how you give to the world. Your business model is how you receive. Okay. I was wondering why God sent me on a journey to go to business school, right? When I know that by default, my purpose here is spiritual, but it all makes sense now. It makes sense that having the process in the ways to receive a business model is how you receive money from the consumer for the creation. You being a creator, how you receive money from consumers, right? And you have to find the right business model so that you can continue to give your gift at the highest level possible. So it all makes sense in hindsight. I wasn't clear on why the creator had me go to business school at the time. Okay. But now I'm going to give it to you. This is literally a $140,000 education put into 4 pages. Okay. I went to one of the best business schools in the world. I don't need to share the name because it's insignificant. I don't lead with other people's brands. Most of you don't know what college I went to. Most of you don't know what business school I went to. You don't know who I work for. It's irrelevant. The brand is me. The child of God is me. Okay. The child of God is you. I don't have to lead with all these other brands and attach them to myself to make you see my value. You see my value without any awareness of the brands that I have been affiliated with throughout my life. I don't need to wear any brands on me. I don't need to put any brands on my resume. I haven't updated my LinkedIn profile in years. In fact, I should probably delete it. A lot of us go through our lives and we're trying to attach ourselves to these bigger brands, right? To show the world how valuable we are. I'm going to attach myself to this college and this kind of employer and this brand name. And then I'm going to put these brand names on me to show people how valuable I am. I stand on my own value with no brands outside of myself. I don't need any brands to validate me. I am who I am. I am that I am. And you can feel it and you can see it. Together, a blessing model and business model your blessing model and business model are critical to your ability to sustainably give your gift and walk in your God-given purpose on a daily basis. Your blessing model is how you give, and your business model is how you receive. Okay? Your blessing model creates value for others, while your business model captures value from others. Okay? It captures value from others. All right? So, from others. Okay? So, together, a blessing model and business model create the process of taking your inputs, which is your 6 forms of capital, which we'll get into later on this week, and performing asset alchemy to turn them into a valuable output, which is either a product or a service. That output will create an outcome, okay, or result in the customer's life. And based on how much they value that outcome, you will receive income. Your input and output are the giving functions, what you've been given and what you give. Then the outcome and income are your receiving functions, what the customer receives and how much you receive. Okay? So literally, that's business school in a nutshell. That is business school in a nutshell. And what we need to do is figure out how this works for you. Okay? Take a screenshot of this. If you don't have the book, take a screenshot of this. All right? IG, I'll give you YouTube, I'll give you 5 seconds to take a screenshot of this. While we're doing that, all my YouTubers, we have 403 people on YouTube. If you could please like and share this video right now. We only have 210 likes right now, but we have 403 people. So we need to double those likes right now. All I'm asking you to do is click the heart, the airplane. Same thing for those of you on Instagram right now. Okay, Instagram, go ahead and take a screenshot. Instagram, go ahead and take a screenshot. All right. This is why some of you need to get the book, because there are images in here that you can't fully grasp without having the physical book. Okay. All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? So let's walk through an example using the t-shirt retailer. Okay. And we have 630 people here today. 400 on YouTube right now, 232 people on Instagram. So you can see our community keeps growing and growing and growing. It's absolutely a powerful demonstration, and I'm so grateful for each one of you sharing. Okay. All right. So we're going to walk through the t-shirt example. That's actually 640 people right now. I think that's our highest ever. Okay. So let's walk through an example using the t-shirt retailer. Number 1, inputs. What do I have to give? What do I have to give? As an asset alchemist, the first step is to assess what you have to give to the world using your 6 forms of capital, which we will discuss in more detail in the next section of this chapter. These are your means to an end. Your capital includes your personal, intellectual, social, financial, physical, and human capital. In the example of the clothing retailer above, their capital included knowing how to advertise online, a marketing budget, a physical store, clothing inventory, and perhaps a few employees. Okay, so that is their capital. All right, these are their inputs. Now we need to turn those inputs into an output. Okay, so the output is, what do they get? What am I actually putting out to the world? Alchemists make basic things better And in this case, the retailer made a nice shirt that would hopefully be valuable to someone else. Your outputs are the products and or services you sell. From a transactional standpoint, the customer got a red shirt to match their red shoes for $20. But the transformation and the meaning of that shirt for the customer are where the real value lies. All right. So we've taken these ingredients and now we've put them into something. We've created something with these ingredients that come from our life experiences, the tools we have around us, etc., and the knowledge that we have in our minds. Next is the outcome. Okay. What is their gift? What is the true gift that they got? The shirt meant more to the customer than the money in their pocket. Remember, I said people do not want money. Everybody type that. I need people to grasp that. People do not want money. Please type that. People do not want money. I know that sounds crazy. Nor do they want the thing that money can buy. They want the feeling that it can give them. The shirt meant more to the customer than their money. They were happily willing to give up the money that they worked for this shirt, meaning that they didn't want that money. They wanted something else. They're just using the money to get to it. It is a means to an end. That's why they bought it. They got a perceived financial gift of $10 because they would have paid $30 for the shirt. But more importantly, they received the psychological gift of feeling confident because of their new outfit. What does Gucci sell? What does Fendi sell? What does Balenciaga sell? They sell confidence or perception of coolness. The reason you're willing to pay this much for a white Balenciaga t-shirt versus a white t-shirt at Walmart is because of the perceived coolness factor that you get from having these letters, an Italian name stitched on your shirt. That's it. That's the perceived value, the intangible value. But more importantly, they receive the psychological gift of feeling confident because of their new outfit. The outcomes from the new shirt can mean landing a date due to their internal confidence and external appearance. So now this $20 shirt, right, that they paid for, they would have paid $30 for it. But in addition to that, now they feel confident in their body. They feel confident in going out to the party that they're about to go out to. And that confidence can exude and actually lead to them attracting somebody, right? So the $20 just sitting in a bank account could have never done that. So they were willing to exchange that $20 for something that could get them what? The feeling of love, the feeling of confidence, the feeling of coolness. That's what they were truly looking for. All right. Now, finally, 4, income. What do I gain for turning these inputs into an output and creating an outcome for somebody else? I get income. Finally, the retailer earned $5 in profit in addition to having their brand on the shirt being marketed by the customer. And they can choose to end this cycle by pocketing the $5 and using it for something else they desire. Or they can accelerate the cycle by endowing. When you have when a college has an endowment, it means that you're putting money back in and you're circulating that money back in, right? So you can end the money by taking it out of your business, right? Or you can endow it by putting it back in and accelerate the cycle. So they can accelerate the cycle by endowing the money back into the business to expand. Entrepreneurship is one of the most powerful creative forces on earth. The entrepreneur stimulates the circulation of faith by trusting in God, trusting the God in themselves, and trusting the God-given business idea planted in the fertile soil of their mind. Just like a legal trust, the entrepreneur becomes the beneficiary of all that God has set aside for them when they are in alignment and on assignment. Using their various forms of capital, entrepreneurs become asset alchemists, making something out of nothing. As an entrepreneur, I must create a blessing model coupled with a business model that allows me to bless more and more people. Some people overlook a profitable business because they are being entrusted with because they want a lifestyle business and they miss their blessing because of it. Some of you would not even want to own a laundromat. Why? Because it's not sexy. Because how many likes am I going to get on Instagram when I share with people that I own a laundromat and I just collect quarters all month? But when you realize that those quarters from the 5 laundromats that you own amass to $100,000 a month, then are you trying to be sexy or successful? I need to know. Are you trying to be sexy or successful? You trying to look sexy to other people, or are you trying to be successful? Some people overlook a profitable business they are being entrusted with because they want a lifestyle business. You want to do it for the gram, and they miss out on their blessing because of it. The goal is to be successful inwardly, not sexy in the eyes of others. Do you want to be wealthy, or do you want to look wealthy? As a good steward, your focus is to build a blessing model and business model modeled after nature, which is regenerative. Everything in nature is designed to regenerate, except when the belief in scarcity is present in man. The false idea, that false idea breaks the circle of life and causes harm to the harmony created by God. When you put your trust in God and step into your identity as a creator, not just a consumer, God trusts in you. The entrepreneurial spirit is not just in CEOs. It is the creative spirit in employees committed to innovating and solving real problems to serve at a higher level and fulfill the mission. Art Fry, an employee at 3M, brought the Post-it note to market. And today, Post-it notes are a $2.3 billion market. Those with an employee mindset feel like it's risky to pursue their purpose. Those with an entrepreneur mindset feel that it is riskier not to. Entrepreneurs tend to have more money because they have more trust in God, and God has more trust in them. Entrepreneurs tend to have more money because they have more trust in God, and God has more trust in them. There is no salary cap. They are not limited. There's no salary cap on entrepreneurs that prevents God from pouring into them. The daily entrepreneurial journey generates more faith than any religious service because it is faith in action, not just faith in an institution. The journey of entrepreneurship generates more faith than any religious service because it is faith in action, not just faith in an institution. Whether you are an entrepreneur or employee, you have the entrepreneurial spirit in you to create things that bless others and bring heaven on earth. Bars. I'm telling you, when I read this, I can't believe that I wrote it. I'm telling you, it was the divine download, family. Like, I would wake up and my finger just start moving on the keys. I'm half asleep. I'm like in a meditative state, just typing what's coming to me. And out came this, right? Just like a woman does not make a baby, I didn't write this book. Just like a farmer does not make an apple, right? What do? We create the conditions internally and externally that allow these manifestations to come through us. It's a completely different way of manifesting and trying to get what you want. I used to be a workaholic. I used to be all about hustling, right? Side hustles, hustle. And now I focus on alignment and I let God get at my back. And when that happens, you've witnessed amazing things unfold. One man, 1,500 people at a conference on generational wealth in Atlanta last weekend. Came from a thought seed that was divinely downloaded to me and through me, right? 600 people, 645 people here. You know that we're more powerful than a church right now? We are doing more work than your church that only has services on Sunday. We're doing more spiritual work here every weekday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time than the church you've been going to that only operates on Sunday. That's one of the worst real estate investments in the world. We're going to spend all this money on this building, and we really only use it at its full capacity for 3 hours a week. We don't need any of that. All we got is a laptop, a cell phone, and the internet. That's all we need. That's all we need to connect. Now, do I want to connect with you in person? I would love to, because the energy that was in that room at Generational Wealth Conference was absolutely amazing. It's that feeling, you can't get that online, okay? But I'm telling you, there's a lot of deception out there. God does not dwell in temples that are made with a man's hand. Scripture says that. God does not dwell in temples that are made with man's hand. Why? Because the temple is here. These are why these are called your temples, family, because this is where God dwells. God dwells in you. Man did not make this. Your body is the temple. So we are doing more spiritual work here every day at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time than you've probably gotten at your church, your physical church, over the past 10 years. Over the past 10 years. I put that on everything. And we have more work to do. And so with that, I want to say thank you for being here. We're going to close up for today. If you have not gotten the book, please go to moneyandmanifestation.com. Again, that's moneyandmanifestation.com. You get 5 copies for the price of one. If you go to Amazon, it'll cost you $100 for one book. If you go to moneyandmanifestation.com, I'm giving you 5, right? This is to stimulate your personal economy so that you can give the other 4 away and build a community around you of people who want to elevate in their wealth consciousness, right? So that is there. Generational Wealth Con. Let me see. Generational Wealth Con. Yes. Tickets for next year. Discounted tickets for next year close tonight at midnight. You can go to genwealthcon.com if you know you want to get a ticket for next year. If you missed it, if you've seen the videos online, you've seen all the shares, you can go get a ticket for half off right now until midnight. Tickets next year will be $397, right? General admission. You can go get that for $197 right now. For $197 right now. So you save $200. And then last but not least is 100 Dope Men and 100 Dope Women. That is kicking off in either late February or March. And we have, listen, where my fellas at? We have over 500 dope women who are ready and committed to doing this real work, to come through this process healed and ready to be in a healthy relationship. We got about 100 brothers right now. There's a shortage. And so, brothers, if you've been afraid of commitment because you've been dealing with a lot of not only have you not healed, but you've also been in a relationship with unhealed people, this is your opportunity to connect with somebody who has been committed to the healing journey. Okay, not just saying it, not just posting quotes on their social media, right? But actually going to do the work. We are going to take every human being that comes through this process through a rigorous process to heal. All right. So we heal from past relationships and childhood trauma and dating trauma, right? We generate love from within, self-love first. So I love myself and I love my life before I go try to love anyone else. My cup has to run it over. And then from there, we go into the process of finding love. So that is at 100 Dope Women, 100dopewomen.com or 100dopemen.com. I'm serious. We're about to change the game. All these toxic podcasts causing men and women to hate one another. We are literally about to change the name. That link is in my bio. That link is in my bio on Instagram, so you can click there afterwards. So we'll be taking those who are interested. There's a form that you need to fill out. If you're interested, we'll be taking those through Valentine's Day. And then after that, we will close that down and we will start working with those who express interest. All right. So that's 100dopemen.com or 100 Dope Women. I'm telling you, fellas, if you're really looking for a wife, you might want to pull up, family. I've been reading. I spent all weekend reading through these surveys, and these are beautiful, beautiful beings, dope souls, okay, that know that they need to go through a little bit of a healing process before they are ready for you, and vice versa. Vice versa. Dope souls, okay? It's better than you going out to the club and you dealing with somebody who's unhealed or thinks that they're healed, thinks that they're not the problem, thinks that they're not the issue. You can keep going out in these dangerous dating streets and see if you continue to get the same results. Insanity is doing the same thing over again, expecting to get different results. All right. So Generational Wealth Con, 50% off next year's ticket. It'll be in Atlanta, Georgia, MLK weekend. That's genwealthcon.com. That's genwealthcon.com. If you're interested in this relationship readiness program, that's 100dopemen.com or 100dopewomen.com. All right. And then finally, if you want to get a copy of the book, that is at moneyandmanifestation.com, moneyandmanifestation.com. And last but not least, everybody can go join the Facebook group for free for Rich and Righteous at facebook.com, facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous. Okay. That's facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous. So if you go to Facebook, you go to any group that you're in, just delete the number at the end or the name at the end and put rich and righteous and request to be admitted to the group. And I will let folks in. This is also where you can go to see if anybody's willing to give you a book if you do not have $100 to buy one for yourself and be a blessing to others. All right. So with that, we're closing out. Yes, the link is pinned at the bottom or at the top, depending on if you're YouTube or Instagram. We'll be back here 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Please set a phone alarm. I do not want to bombard you with text messages and emails. So if this space has been a blessing to you, please set a phone alarm for every weekday. Tomorrow we will be on page 246 and we'll be reading the 6 forms of capital. We will have to break this chapter up into, I think, 2 or 3 days. Okay. It's a long chapter, so we'll be breaking this up into 2 or 3 days. All right. Cool. Love y'all. I will see you. Have a blessed and abundant week, and I will see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love, y'all. Peace.